Hola, muy buenos dias. Hey, it's Scott again from eSpanish Teacher. I'm really enjoying putting these videos together and I hope you're getting some value out of them as well. If so, please subscribe to my channel. Right now I want to talk to you about number and gender agreement. This is a concept that's somewhat foreign to English speakers, but for Spanish speakers, it's really important. Essentially, it says that some of the words we use, particularly nouns, adjectives, and articles, must agree with each other in terms of number and gender. That's right. Some words in Spanish have a number, singular or plural, that's the number, and a gender, masculine or feminine. So it's really important to remain conscious of this as you construct language. If we were to consult the textbook, it would say something like this. Articles and adjectives must agree in number and gender with the nouns they modify. The word modify simply means when you use them together. So when you use articles and adjectives with a noun, they've got to agree with each other. If this is confusing, let me bring up a few examples that will help clarify. Here are 4 examples of this concept. Let's look at the first one. Now, generally speaking, it's the noun that dictates the article and adjective. So in this first one, el gato rápido, the fast cat, the noun is cat, el gato or gato, and it's singular masculine. So it dictates that the article must also be singular masculine and the adjective singular and masculine. So this one is correct. El gato rápido, the fast cat. Generally speaking, the letter O is the singular masculine ending for nouns and adjectives. Likewise, in this second example, la casa roja, the red house, casa is our noun. It's singular feminine, so it dictates that our article be singular and feminine, as well as our adjective, singular and feminine. La casa roja. And you'll notice that la, which is the singular feminine article, meaning the, agrees with casa, as well as roja, which is the singular feminine adjective of red. So those 3 agree. La casa roja. Let's move on to the third example. Unos edificios altos. Some tall buildings. Again, our noun is edificios, but this time it's plural. It's masculine and plural. And it dictates that the article and adjective must also be masculine and plural. And it's correct. Unos edificios altos. They're all masculine and plural. Finally, this last example, we are looking at one that is plural and feminine. Esas chicas listas, those smart girls. Pretty straightforward, right? This table should really help you grasp the concept better. Before we wrap up, I want to note something about identifying the gender of nouns. I've essentially broken the nouns into 3 buckets. This is just something that I've done mentally to help me understand the various nouns. And each bucket is a little more complicated than the one that precedes it. So this first bucket is easy. Words that end in O are usually masculine, or nouns that end in O are usually masculine. Nouns that end in A are usually feminine, and here are 2 examples, el bocadillo and la pregunta. Now, fortunately, this is the majority of nouns in the Spanish language. Most of them fit into this group or this bucket. This second bucket, however, is also very important. It's a smaller subset of nouns, but it's also, like I said, it's an important subset to understand. So sometimes nouns ending in L, N, E, and R are masculine. Here are some examples. El canal, el camión, el coche, and el sabor. All right, so these are examples of nouns that end in L, N, E, and R, and which are masculine. Also, words or nouns ending in D and ion are typically or usually feminine. La canción, the song, and la bondad, kindness. All right, so these rules are not hard and fast because you'll notice I'm using the keywords usually. But it's another group that you need to be aware of. You don't have to memorize this. It's just really helpful to be aware of it so that when you come across these nouns, you'll understand. Finally, the most difficult grouping are words that end in a vowel where that vowel has a written accent. these are usually masculine. So for example, el sofá, the sofa, that word, even though it ends in an A, it's masculine because it's a vowel with a written accent. And finally, in order to preserve the emphasis of some words, some nouns, the masculine article is used. So let's look at these three words. El hacha, el águila, el agua. Notice that each of these nouns has an emphasis on an A to begin the word. Well, in order to preserve that sound, they had to use the masculine el as the article. So el hacha, but las hachas. El águila, but las águilas. El agua, but las aguas. So these technically are still feminine, but they use the masculine article. Again, you don't have to memorize these, but it's really helpful to be aware of them so that when you come across them, you're not surprised.